Hi everybody, you are watching Vitorials. My name is Alex, and in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to create this Audi kind of like logo. So the main aim of this tutorial is to show you how to create these intersected metallic rings in Gravit Designer, and I show you a couple of tricks how to use the Freehand Drawing Tool and how to maintain all of this consistency all over this circle. So let's start with the new document, Alt N or Option N on your Mac, and I'm gonna size it with 1280 to 800 pixels. Click on the icon to bring up a new canvas, and first of all let's cover it with the rectangle. So click grab the rectangle tool and cover it with the rectangle. Let's fill it with the bluish color. I'm working with the cold color because I want to create then and show you how to create the bluish cold reflection on the metal. So far so good. Let's grab the ellipse or click E and holding Shift and Alt or Shift and Option on your Mac. Create an ellipse, head over to the top portion of the inspector panel on the top right and click on this icon keep ratio. It should be filled, and now let's change the width to 320 pixels, and you see that Gravit will change the height automatically. So we have the ellipse with the radius of 320 pixels. Okay, let's get rid from the fill and introduce the border. We need to boost the border weight to 36 points. So far so good. Let's convert this border to the outlines or vectorize the border, as it called this function in Gravit Designer. Head over to these icons on the tools panel, weight small, and you will see that right now we are dealing with the compound pass. You can achieve the same result by subtracting a smaller ellipse from the bigger ellipse, but right now I prefer to use the vectorized border since I can control the border weight. So let's duplicate this circle and put it in this way. So roughly 1/4 of your circles are intersected with each other. Let's change the color of second one, and within this circle, two of them selected. Draw a marquee to select both of them. Ctrl Shift D or Command Shift D to clone all of them. You see that on my last panel I'm working with the Riser copies, and head over to the Boolean shape operators and click on this chevron to select the intersect from the drop down to create two paths of intersection. Right now we are working with the compound shape. It's perfectly editable, so you can click on this chevron icon. It's like kind of like container of the two shapes, but I'm right now rather interested in the path itself, so I need to convert it to the path. You can head over to the tools panel on top to convert to the path, or use the shortcut Ctrl Shift P, Command Shift P on your Mac. Right now you see it's a compound path, and I want to change the color so we can see it more clearly what is going on. I'm gonna use the, let's say, white color. White color is good. Okay, we have two passes, and if you are new to Gravit Designer and you are going to delete one of these particles, because this what I'm about to do, you probably grab the Subselect tool and select one of the part and hit the backspace. You see it's also deleted the fill of the second part, so you need to create a new fill and so on and so forth. Instead of deleting the actually this top part with the Subselect tool, you can use the freehand shaping tool. As I was explaining you in my tutorial pertaining the freehand tool, it can subtract from the existed shape or it's art when you are working on the empty canvas. So you have this kind of like art subtract behavior with this tool. So what you need to do to subtract one shape is to just keep them selected. It's very important, keep them selected and draw around one of the shapes. You wouldn't see anything, but you would see the result. It's deleted, their fill and border is maintained, everything in their places, and now I just want to rub the color from the first shapes to create this nice intersection. Okay, so far so good. Let me unlock all of my designs, and holding Alt and Shift or Option and Shift on your Mac, again move these guys to the right. Okay, Gravit Designer will prompt me with the advice to stop, where to stop my circles, my duplicates. Right now I think I need to push them a little bit with the arrow keys to the left. Okay, so far so good. My next point is to select these two in the middle. These two circles in the middle are selected, and make a duplicate with the Ctrl+Shift+D, Command+Shift+D again. So we clone them again. You see I'm working with the duplicates. Head over to the intersect command again. So we achieve this kind of things again. And right now I'm about to subtract the top part, right? Bottom part, I'm sorry. So grab the freehand shaping tool. It haven't had the shortcut yet. Draw around the part you are about to subtract, and voila, we have the final shape. Okay, let's give it a black color. So far so good. It looks decent. Let's work with the hard part of our tutorial, because right now we need to arrange the colors to create this metallic kind of effect. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select the shape of on my left, you see, this shape, and head over to the fill, bring up the fill panel, and from there drop down here, select the radial gradient. It was good. Now let's push the whitish color to around 95% of the slider. Select the rightmost gradient part and introduce a new color. It should be 91. Let's go to this hexadecimal 919191. Click enter to apply the changes, apply the colors. Now let's create two more colors. One of them in the middle, close to the whitish gradient stop, and one into the same distance from this pair in the middle. So we have this kind of like symmetry in our gradient stops. Okay. So my second gradient from the right is the whitish. My third color from the right is CCC7C7. Click enter to apply the changes. And my last gradient, keep track on visual representation. It should be right on the edge of this ring. Let's go to this gradient, and this color should be D7, D7, D7. Click enter to apply the effect. Right now you see we have this kind of gradient, but for me it's more like plastic, but I'm okay with that for now. We will change it further in our tutorial, but right now let's create a shared style to share this gradient with other circles in the most easiest way. So let's go to appearance, and from this drop down choose the create new shared style, give it a name. I'm working with the metal and click create to apply the metal to create the shared style. Right now let's select everything apart from this leftmost circle, and go to the styles, and from the down apply the metal shared style. You see how it works in Gravit Designer. This is how you can share the appearance properties with the bunch of the shape. Okay, keep selected the first design, and now to create more metal gradient, I want to decrease a little bit the brightness, boost the contrast, and maybe boost the saturation to get rid from this grays from my illustration. So I'm gonna bring up the color adjust panel. So give it a color adjust effect. With these sliders, decrease the brightness a bit to, let's say, to 20%. Boost the contrast to let's say 35 to 40%, and finally set the saturation to around 20% again. Okay, so far so good, it looks decent. And now what I'm gonna do to share this appearance and this effect with other guys from my on my document, I need to just click on this icon sync from our appearance panel to sync these new properties, appearance properties, with the shared style, to write it down to the shared style. So this is how it works. I click sync and you see this, I share this appearance with the other circles. Okay, we have the problem here, because on this part the radial gradient doesn't work, but the linear gradient would work, and you will see the difference. Let's apply the linear gradient to this part and move the slider right on the part itself. So work with the slider itself. Let me increase the scale a bit with Ctrl plus Command plus, by the way, if you're following along. Let me take a look. It should look decent. Okay, right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this path and create a new shared style. So again, head over to this drop down and create a new shared style. Set the name. I'm just working with the part. Click create. Right now let's select every single piece here. With holding the shift key, you can select the multiple objects and apply them the new shared style. So a shared style for this part, you see how it works, and shared style for this part as well. Where is the shared style for this part as well? You see, what works for the bottom doesn't work for the top. That means that you need to change the gradient properties for the top one. Let me show you how I did it. Tutorial, it's far more than enough. Right now let's Ctrl A, Command A to select everything, and let's group it with Ctrl G, Command G, or use the right mouse button context menu and go and group it. Group the selection, Ctrl G, Command G. Keep selected this group, so this group should be selected. And right now what I'm gonna do, set the direction of my light. I'm gonna create the highlight on the left side of my rings, and I'm gonna create the shadow on the right side of my ring. So one half of my ring will be with the shadow, and another half of my ring will be with the highlight. It further boost the effect, and what's more important, you can work with the reflection. You see that I use the same kind of color here on our left. If you take a look on this area, I use the same kind of color as my background. And let me show you how I did it. Let me first rob the color itself. So I'm gonna rob the color from my background. I'm using Ctrl+C to copy this value and look it again. Select the group and go to inner shadow. With inner shadow property, to get rid of this, by the way, to get rid of this, you need to just play with the scale and start with this shadow. I need to set the X value. Let me take a look here. I need to set the X value to 14 pixels. 14 pixels. Y value to -6, blur left to 5, and decrease the opacity to 20%. Go to the color and paste this color into the hexadecimal field. Ta-da! We are creating the casting shadow. And again, guys, if you're facing the same bug that I face, you just need to either play with the scale and it will be okay. Just focus on on these scenes and then scale it down back. Okay, so we create first part. Let's create the second one. So keep selected the group again, go to inner shadow again. This time I'm gonna work with the -10 value of X, +6 Y value, again blur set to 5, and opacity I believe set to 55%. Leave the color black. Let again the focus on our paths and scale them down. Again, go to here, keep it selected, focus and scale them down. This is how you can remedy these effects. Okay guys, this is how you can create these nice intersected circles in Gravit Designer with the metallic gradient, some casting shadows, and bunch of other interesting things. I hope you learn something from this tutorial that you can apply for your everyday workflow. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to go to vitorials.net for more Gravit Designer and Adobe Illustrator tutorials. Again, this was the requested feature on Gravit Designer tutorials group. So user group, join Gravit Designer tutorials group. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your day.